like to know a powerful secret of success and happiness? Okay, here it is. So, a lot of people think about success and a lot of people think about happiness in many, many different ways. And I'd like to share with you something very, very important in terms of rooting yourself. Because I feel that we're bombarded with so much information these days. We're bombarded with so many things telling us this is success, this is happiness, the Lamborghini, the island, this, that, whether it's on social media or whether it's through marketing or advertising. There's so many things that we're constantly being bombarded with. And sometimes we can feel very unbalanced. Sometimes we can feel very anxious, or we can feel sort of, I need this, I need that, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. But a very, very powerful secret of success and happiness is the ability to know yourself. It was the Greek philosopher, I believe Aristotle, that said, know thyself. And it's been said, this know thyself has been said through many different cultures and, you know, in many different ways. And it's such an important principle, because when you know yourself, when you know what you're about, you define what success means to you. You define what happiness means to you, not somebody else. Not somebody else telling you that, oh, this is what you should be doing. You act from a center, a rooted place where you know what you're doing. So to take the time out to know yourself is very, very important. So how do you know yourself? What you've got to do, number one, is you've got to shut off all the noise. You've got to take the time out, maybe go for a walk in nature, do something else, think about something else. Take some quiet time to consider what is important to you, what really makes you happy, what your values are. These things allow you to get in touch with yourself. But sometimes you've got to shut off the noise. It might mean you've got to take time out and shut off, social media. It might mean that, you've got to just say no to certain commitments. You've got to do something different and get yourself out of your routine, and take time out to get in touch with yourself. Very, very important principle of happiness and success, because then when you know yourself, you can make clear decisions about what you actually want, rather than being influenced by all the advertising and all the marketing and everything that everybody else is telling you that you should do, right? You're actually in touch with you. And only when you actually get in touch with you and your heart and your mind and what you're about, then you can actually be really happy in life and go forward from that point in a very strong and rooted way. So knowing yourself is a very, very important thing. And to know yourself, you've got to take time out. It might be meditation. It might be a walk in nature. Something along these lines where you literally just sit in silence, in stillness, and you get in touch with yourself, with what your heart and your mind really wants in life. And then what's important to do, I think, very, very important, is to write it down. To actually give it some tangible presence in terms of a written format of what your thoughts are, what your ideas are, what your goals are, what you really want, what you're about. And it's from that place that we act, and we can be happy, we can be successful. The great spiritual master Yogaji Maharaj used to tell a very interesting story. A story that relates to knowing yourself. He used to tell the story of, and I'll vary it slightly, of, let's say, a farmer, his wife, and a bull, and they were traveling along, and the man decided to sit on the bull. The man decided to sit on his bull, and his wife was walking by the side of him. And people started to look out the windows and on the street and pointed at the man, the farmer on that bull, and they said, oh, look at this man, he's a very lazy man, and, he's making a woman walk. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And he received a lot of criticism. So hearing this, the couple decided to swap places, and the woman sat on the bull instead. And she walked, and they go along, and the woman's sitting on the bull, and the farmer's walking by the side of, and he's walking along. And again, people on the streets and out the windows and looking at them started to criticize. And what did they say this time? They said, look at this woman. She's sitting on that bull and she's making her husband walk. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And they again received some great criticism. So they both sort of thought, oh, well, last time you sat on the bull and we were criticized, and this time, the lady sat on the bull and we were still criticized. Let's do this. Let's both sit on the bull. Nobody can say anything to us now. And so the farmer and his wife, they both sat on the bull and they walked along, and once again, the people on the street and out the window and whoever saw them began to criticize them. What did they say this time? They said, look at these two people. They're so cruel, they're going to break that poor bull's back. And they began criticizing again and saying things again. And so they thought, whoa, there's only one solution for it now. Let's do this. Nobody sits on the bull. Let the bull walk in the middle. I'll walk on this side, and you walk on that side. Nobody sits on anybody. Nobody can possibly say anything about us now. And they walk along, and what do the people say? They say, look at these foolish people. They've got a bull and they're not using it. And they were still criticized. So the moral of that story, Yogaji Maharaj used to say, is that when we try to change ourselves and try and please other people, it's literally impossible. You're not going to be able to keep everybody happy in this world. It's not possible. You can try, but I can pretty much guarantee there will always be somebody that's not happy with what you're doing, or has something to say, or has some criticism about you. And the wise thing to do is to actually decide, look within yourself, look within your own heart and your own mind, and think to yourself, what do you want to do? And what does your heart and your mind tell you is the right course of action? And be true to yourself. And that's what knowing yourself is all about. And I think the people that actually know themselves, and the people that be true to themselves and not worry too much about what other people think about them, and not respond to the criticisms and all these things and and everything that the world, says, and does what they feel is right in their heart, they are the ones that have success and have happiness. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video here. A very, very important principle: know yourself. Know yourself at a very, very deep level, and don't worry about what everybody else thinks about you. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks you should be doing. Be true to yourself. Find that calling, and to do that, take the time out. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's nature, but shut off the noise. Know yourself. A big principle of success. Thank you.